Nepali cricketers have continued producing impressive results at the international tournaments. In the latest of such achievements, boys of the Under-16 national cricket team are bringing home the trophy of the ACC Men's Under-16 East Zone Championship after thrashing Malaysia in the finals. Good evening, I'm Prarambha, Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. CIB begins investigation for organized crime on those arrested over allegations of involvement in Lalita Niwas land scam. Files for an application to scrap the interim decision against the arrest of 17 alleged of involvement. Three major parties agreed to move forward with the required process for appointment of chairpersons of parliamentary thematic committees in the next few days. The abolishment of the mandatory death penalty in Malaysia to come into force as the Abolition of Mandatory Death Penalty Act 2023 has been gazetted. And Nepal crowned the ACC Men's Under-16 East Zone Cup champions as the age group side restrict Malaysia for a paltry 31 runs in the grand finale. Central Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police is gearing up to proceed with investigation against those arrested in connection with the Lalita Niwas land scam for organized crime. CIB received the approval to continue with the probe for organized crime. The Bureau was allowed today for an extended period of investigation against those arrested for allegedly forging documents to sell the government land. The Bureau now has 7 more days to prove against 9 of those arrested, including the owner of supermarket chain Vadbuteni, Min Bahadur Gurung, former election commissioner Sudhir Shah, the then officer of Delhi Bazaar Land Revenue Office, among others. Now the Bureau can keep those arrested in custody for up to 60 days for investigation. The Bureau has 130 more individuals in its arrestee list, which includes former Secretary Deep Basnad. Meanwhile, the CIB has filed an application at the Office of the Attorney General to scrap the interim order issued against the arrest of 17 individuals alleged of involvement in the scam, saying that the investigation into the case had been affected. Now, 3 major parties have agreed to move forward with the required process for appointment of chairpersons of parliamentary committees in the next few days. At a time when appointment of leadership of the committees has been delayed, Speaker of the House of Representatives Devraj Ghimire has held discussions with Prime Minister and CPN Mahasandra Chairperson Pushpakamal Dahal, Chairperson of Main Opposition CPN-UML KP Sharma Oli, and Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa. According to Speaker Ghimire, the leaders have agreed to proceed with appointment of leadership at the committees. It has been learned that required processes are to be taken forward after discussions between Minister for Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, Dhanaraj Gurung, and Chief Whips of all parties. A total of 10 parliamentary thematic committees were formed on the 28th of April. However, the committees are yet to hold discussions on the bills as the parties had yet to agree on selection of chairpersons of the entities. 3 children have died while another was injured after being buried in a landslide in Parini rural municipality of Arghakhachi. According to Ward Chairperson Kamal Prasad Pokhrel, 3 children were killed after the house of Ganga Raskoti was buried in Gowanpani village of Panena. The deceased were identified as 2 grandsons and a granddaughter of Raskoti. Police have said that all 3 bodies have been recovered from the disaster site. Half of the house was buried by the landslide, which occurred at around 5:30 a.m. following incessant rainfall. Sachin Raskoti was injured in the disaster. Incessant rainfall has increased the risks of floods and landslides in several parts of the country. With the rise in water level of rivers, administrations have begun alerting the local residents of settlements near water bodies. Settlements near Rupandehi and Palpa are at risk with the increase in the water level of the Tinau River. The Flood Measurement Center in Butwal has alerted the local residents about possible floods in the area. According to the center, risks of flood have increased following heavy rainfall for around 3 hours in Butwal, Palpa and surrounding region. A landslide near Tansen municipality, ward number 8, Gaude Pul of Palpa has obstructed the Siddhartha highway. Vehicles traveling towards Palpa and Butwal have been stranded because of road obstruction. Meanwhile, transport has been halted after the Charikot-Singati road section connecting 3 rural municipalities of Doloka was also swept by flood. The alternate road has also been obstructed because of heavy rainfall. Elsewhere, floods following incessant rainfall have also obstructed Tamor corridor and the Mechi highway. Tamor corridor has been obstructed because of floods in the Nawa River and Ragwa River. Meanwhile, the Fidim-Taplejung road section under the Mechi Highway has also been obstructed yet again following the increase in water level of the Hewa River. According to the Department of Roads, 6 highways have been obstructed across the country today, while 12 are operating one way. The Election Commission has endorsed the draft of the new law with the provision of fielding 33% women candidates in the direct category of the election. The Commission has also decided to present the draft of the integrated election at the House of Representatives through the Ministry of Home Affairs. Based on the law proposed by the Commission, parties must field 33% women candidates in the direct category. Based on the existing arrangements, 33% of women candidates had to be fielded in the proportionate segment. The Commission has also proposed of prohibiting the candidates suffering defeat in 3 tiers of election to contest as a candidate from any other electoral constituency other than the by-election of their own constituency. Candidates of one constituency cannot be fielded as a candidate in any other constituency within 5 years. However, despite suffering defeat, candidates can contest in the by-elections of their own constituencies. The Commission has also proposed prohibiting a candidate's election from proportionate category after 2 terms as a proportionate candidate. Meanwhile, the Apex Election Authority has also proposed for voting rights of Nepali nationals in other countries. The Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal has said that Sardar Pritam Singh had reached New Delhi on several occasions for his appointment as the Prime Minister. Launching the book Roads to the Valley, The Legacy of Sardar Pritam Singh in Nepal, authored by Kirandeep Sandhu, Prime Minister Dahal spoke about coordination with Singh since Maoists joined the peace process and added that Singh had reached Delhi several times for his appointment as the Prime Minister. Dahal added that Singh had held discussions with Nepali political parties for his appointment as the Premier as well. Prime Minister Dahal also expressed belief that the book would aid in Nepal's development and bolstering ties between Nepal and India. The book explains in detail the contributions of Sardar Singh in Nepal's transport sector. The border dispute of 2 sub-metropolises of Sunsari, Dharan and Ithari has surfaced yet again. The dispute has escalated again after Dharan Mayor Harka Sampang installed a border sign at Panipia of Tarhara Ithari. Sampang has claimed that Panipia is the border of Dharan sub-metropolis. The border sign was immediately removed by Ithari Municipal Police. Prior to this, Sampang had installed a similar board in the Nepali month of Baisakh as well. Ithari sub-metropolis Mayor Hemkarna Paudel has identified the need for finding a solution to the issue through coordination and dialogue. Traditionally, the Sayuti River was considered the border between Dharan and Ithari sub-metropolises. District Coordination Committee Sunsari is to hold discussions with local public representatives regarding the dispute. Dhankuta has been declared a fully vaccinated district. Following certification of vaccination against BCG, rotavirus, polio, PCV, DPT, measles, rubella and Japanese encephalitis among all children until 59 months of age, Dhankuta district has been declared as a fully vaccinated district. According to the District Health Office Dhankuta, there were 6,440 children of the age group in Dhankuta who were inoculated. And now before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. CIB begins investigation for organized crime on those arrested over allegations of involvement in Lalita Niwas land scam. Files for an application to scrap the interim order against the arrest of 17 alleged of involvement. 3 major parties agreed to move forward with the required process for appointment of chairpersons of parliamentary committees in the next few days. The abolishment of the mandatory death penalty in Malaysia to come into force as the Abolition of Mandatory Death Penalty Act 2023 has been gazetted. And Nepal crowned the ACC Men's Under-16 East Zone Cup champions as the age group side restrict Malaysia for a paltry 31 runs in the grand finale. That is all for the moment. Our next news bulletin is at 10:30 tonight. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.